all.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome you to the Abbasini Al-Shad. This is your brother of war, making a video to feed the sheep and edify the lambs. Shalom to the Akim or Aquastim that are going to be watching this video. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Also, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So, the biggest thing in the news is that earthquake that happened in Venezuela, and this man's reporting on it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's me think that Esau actually used his technology to set up the Northern Kingdom for massive death and to give what it seemed like he's about to give that leader that he set up in there after he kidnapped Maduro. But it's looking like he's about to set up his leader. They're gonna get money, giving their leader money, you know, in exchange for some of the Venezuelans' resources. And you know how evil these politicians are, especially the ones that Esau sets up in another man's country. That money, the Venezuelans ain't gonna see a lick of that money. Same way, the Trump regime, they call it, is robbing the people blind, the American people blind of their tax dollars. Talking about he want to build ballrooms and whatnot, ballrooms and decorate the Washington pool and reflective pool and all that stuff. But let me just get this, and this is how you know. This is how you know that the Venezuelans are the children of Israel as well, because they're under Esau's control. You know, he's gonna Esau while they're losing grip over there in the middle, what they call the Middle East. They had no power over the Iranians to just bombard them and keep doing what they want to do, but they got power over the children of Israel, which is that's prophecy. Let me get that one in, and then I'm gonna let like at least 10 minutes of this video play, get a few more presets, unless I butt in, and then yeah, close it out. I just got my other phone in my hand. I'm gonna use it to get the precept. It's Daniel chapter 7, and verse, I believe. Hold on, what is it? Give me a second. It's been a while since man's got this one. Okay, it is 26. Yeah, I was looking at 16. I believe. And the 10 horns. Wait, hold up. Okay, here it is. 21. 21, and it says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So the little horn, which is America, that speaketh great things, you know, that sitteth upon many waters. Hey, we read about in Revelation 17:18. That's America. America has power over the Venezuelan people. So there's not really much that the Venezuelans can do to fight the corruption that is being put on them, the oppression that's being put on them until Yahushua comes back. So long for that. Awesome. I'm gonna let this go.
Hell is breaking loose in Venezuela following the catastrophic earthquakes on June 24th, resulting in approximately 2,000 confirmed deaths, tens of thousands of people still missing and likely dead, and over 10,000 people injured. Compounding this catastrophe is that Donald Trump continues to support the authoritarian leader of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, and her right hand, Diosdado Caballos,
Bruh.
the enforcer enforcer and their regime continues to loot and pillage from the people of Venezuela, blocking critical aid, blocking the rescue efforts in Venezuela. And Donald Trump is blocking Maria Corina Machado, the duly elected leader of Venezuela, who was forced to give her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. Trump is blocking Machado from returning to Venezuela. She wants to be with her people who are suffering there in Venezuela. The people are beyond fed up with this Delcy Rodriguez authoritarian regime, which is basically just the Maduro regime. They need aid. They need support. The Trump regime is pretending that's taking place, but they're supporting Delcy. Maria Corina Machado is trying to get there. She flew to Curacao, and the Trump regime refused to acknowledge her diplomatic status, so she was forced to return to the United States. She doesn't have a Venezuelan passport. The Trump regime continues to attack Machado. Remember, she was forced to give Donald Trump her Nobel Peace Prize, and now Donald Trump just says she's out. I'm still supporting Delcy Rodriguez because Donald Trump wants all of that oil money from Venezuela. Donald Trump wants to be applauded because he claims he's given $100 million in aid and support to Venezuela while looting over $5 billion in oil money from the people of Venezuela.
Right, and America, after he done fucked up the Strait of Hormuz, America, he has wants and reason to be getting the oil from somewhere, right?
And in any event, that money is going to Diosdado Caballos and to Delcy Rodriguez, and it's not reaching the people right now. The people are absolutely livid. This is what happens when you get into bed with authoritarians and you
And
start.
this is what they were saying is happening to the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, that the Israeli Amalek been blocking the aid and all the majority of the help that they be needing. It's just nothing but oppression.
To do joint ventures.
These Edomites, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about human life. You already stole from their land. You're already oppressing them. What more do you want? What more do you want from them?
With the bad guys, but then wait a minute. Donald Trump is one of the worst. No, let me change that. He's the worst authoritarian of them all right now. Let's just go through the facts receipt by receipt right now. You know, on June 24th of this year, a magnitude 7.2 quake hit north central Venezuela. 39 seconds later, a larger magnitude 7.5 ruptured at almost the same spot. We saw all the buildings get destroyed over there, 58,000 buildings that were likely destroyed. The death count right now is at about 2,000, over 10,000 injured. Tens of thousands of people remain missing. The body bags that we're seeing there in Venezuela look to be in the tens of thousands. And one story that is now getting more attention, and it certainly deserves this, is that the Trump regime deported about 148 people from the United States right before the earthquake took place on June 24th. And the Trump regime deported these people, took away their temporary protected status, put them in Simon Bolivar Airport, then transfer them to a nearby hotel. And the earthquake struck. This was Hotel Sanctuary, like a sanctuary hotel.
So you mean to tell me that out of all of a sudden they just wanted to deport a large amount of Venezuelans, as if they've been just casually reporting on how many they've been deporting this whole time on the news, and then all of a sudden a major earthquake happens?
And then the hotel collapsed. About 140 people who were deported by ICE are likely dead right now, and they're missing as a direct result of the Trump regime's cruel behavior. You know, this past week, the United States Supreme Court ruled that basically there's no such thing as temporary protected status anymore as long as Donald Trump says, I don't want TPS. So there's actually more people right now who are set to be deported to Venezuela. The cruel and unusual behavior by the Trump regime's just compounding the suffering right now. I'll just go through this step by step as the New York Times reports as well. U.S. undercuts Venezuela opposition leader as she tries to return. Maria Corina Machado is like, I want to be with my people. She's like, I won the last election. I want to be with my people. Enough. Donald Trump and the Trump regime, you've told me be patient, be patient. We'll do elections in the future. It's clear that the Trump regime is just going to do whatever Delcy wants because Donald Trump wants that oil money from Delcy Rodriguez and Diosdado Caballos. And so Machado's like, let me try to get there. She tried to go to Curacao. Trump blocked her there. She doesn't have a passport, and Trump is refusing to allow the state to.
And then another thing, notice how Netanyahu all of a sudden decided to send money off to Venezuela, and then America. You guys hate the Latino people. Why would you want to support them in a time of aid? You think the actual Venezuelans are going to be getting that money and not the people who he set up after kidnapping their president? Come on now.
To give her any of the credentials to get to Venezuela. Obviously, Delcy Rodriguez does not want Machado in Venezuela right now. And Donald Trump says this is a distraction. She just wants to do a publicity stunt. Why does she want to behave like such a celebrity and get all of this attention? The hell even thinks like that? She's the leader of the country. She wants to be with the people. And right now, Delcy and Diosdado Caballos, their interior minister, torturer right there, are further torturing the people right now as the death toll continues to mount. Let me just share with you. Katie Fang from the Midas Touch Network has been all over this. She covered what went down at Hotel Santuario, where the Trump regime sent 100 right before the earthquake struck. And by the way, even before that, the Trump regime ramped up the deportations of Venezuelans. And by the way, remember all of the, Miami Latino Republican politicians like, we're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. People who were not criminals, people who are here who are working hard. There's probably thousands who have been deported to Venezuela. This group of 100, though, was deported on the day of the earthquake. Sent there, and then the hotel collapsed, likely leading to 140 deaths directly stemming from Trump and ICE's actions. Here's how Katie Fang described it. Let's play it.
So there was a flight going from Miami to Venezuela, and specifically to the Simón Bolívar International Airport. And that flight was a deportation flight that was being run by ICE. And it went, again, from Miami to Venezuela, carrying 146 people, including 19 women and 7 children. That flight landed at 10:22 a.m. local time last week, Wednesday. Those 146 deportees from the United States were taken to La Guaira. That is a city on the coast in northern Venezuela. It's just north of the capital of Caracas. And they were taken specifically to a hotel, the Hotel Santuario, which, listen, for those of you that speak Spanish, it is just tragic, this name of this hotel. The Hotel Sanctuary, the Sanctuary Hotel, it was nothing close. It ended up being a death trap, just kind of the denouement, the finality of a death kind of path for these poor deportees. And the process of their deaths was started by the Trump administration.
Then you have this MAGA Republican Congress member from South Florida, Carlos Jimenez, and he's one of the people who basically threw his own people to the wolves. He promised, Donald Trump's going to take care of you. He's a MAGA Republican from South Florida. And CNN asked them, hey, so hours before this earthquake, ICE and Donald Trump and your policies led to 150 Venezuelans being deported. You all promised you would be compassionate and all these things, but you likely are responsible for the deaths of these 150 people. What's your response? Here, play this clip.
I do want to ask you, Congressman, about the situation in Venezuela and specifically this news that we've received that hours before the earthquake, close to 150 people on a deportation flight from Miami were at the epicenter of the earthquakes, and the hotel that they were in collapsed. Many of them remain missing. Their family members say they have not been able to get answers. Do you think that DHS has responsibility to account for those missing?
No, I don't. I think that if they were deported legally from the United States, they were deported legally from the United States. The fact you had a tragedy afterwards, you can't pin that on DHS. I mean, it's just an act of God. And so, no, I don't. Now, I feel for them, and I hope that that they turn out to be okay. But no, that's not something that DHS should be accounted for. That's an act of God, and nobody could have foreseen that an earthquake.
You see that a nation. This is Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young. They have the way he's speaking about it. Since when y'all care about God? Y'all still have y'all. If y'all cared about the Lord, you would have made adultery illegal. You wouldn't have homosexuality. You wouldn't have pride. You wouldn't have been having the Pride Parade going on just last month. What are we talking about here? What you know about what the Most High has planned? This even makes me feel have more reason to believe that these mans use their technology to cause an earthquake up in there.
Is going to happen in Venezuela.
Since last October.
And again, we're seeing the video footage come in of Diosdado Cabello Rondon, the interior minister, the enforcer, the torturer for
And then what? Verse 51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed it. These Latinos, they've been getting robbed of their resources from these people, and now he's trying to do it even more. You know?
Delcy Rodriguez. He was the torturer for Maduro as well, but this is all part of the same Chavista regime right here. Let me show you the video right here as you have Diosdado Cabellos preventing aid from getting to the people. And I just want to be very clear. Diosdado Cabellos had a $25 million bounty on him for being a narco-terrorist. You know, Donald Trump talks about narco-terrorists. This is Trump's guy right now, okay? I don't want to hear, oh, Donald Trump's giving money to... No, he's not. Donald Trump supports Diosdado. Donald Trump supports Delcy. Donald Trump is blocking Maria Corina Machado. And by the way, I was kind of disenchanted with how Maria Corina Machado was like giving Donald Trump the Peace Prize and had to suck up to him. In the past, it's hard for me to put myself in her shoes. Obviously, very hard, you know, to say like what she thought she was doing by sucking up to Donald Trump, but you certainly did not get him to view you more powerfully. Quite the contrary. It's why the only thing you can do is show strength and call him out, because he's a pathetic loser when you call him out. This is right. Diosdado Cabello.
But you see, that's why the Most High is raising up the carpenters to bring all hell to break loose on Babylon the Great. Let me finish that in Zephaniah. I believe the Most High is gonna avenge. He's definitely gonna avenge his people soon. Don't even fret, because he's been killing off thousands of Edomites up in France and all across Europe with this heat wave, and it's coming to Babylon too. So don't even worry. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. The Most High, he's coming. He's coming with some vengeance. Get that in Zechariah. All right. It's Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 14. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Therefore, thus say Yahweh, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies, and my house shall be built in it, saith Yahweh of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Now, where's the forget the precept is the one. Okay, here we go. Keep going. Cry yet, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, behold, four horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem, right? There's a one little horn that has power to prevail over against the saints, right? But this is going into also going into the British, the Spanish, the French, who originally became who ended up becoming America. Those are the ones who enslaved the Black, Latino, Native Indians, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, who make up the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why we have their names under us, over us, right?
Preventing aid from getting
So
through.
okay, let me finish this out, and then I'm gonna close. And then and notice they're the ones who were scattering us throughout the transatlantic slave trade, right? And then Yahweh shewed me four carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah. Wait, where's the carpenters? Okay, Khan. These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. Those carpenters is Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. Those are the ones with the nuclear capability that's gonna help burn Babylon to the ground and to avenge the children of Israel. So don't worry, it's coming. The whole Iran situation is nothing but prophecy. You can see that the Most High is working with the Iranians and putting up the Americans in a bad spot, but the elect will be protected. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and come Yasharal.